Good morning, this is Rick Fairbanks, and we're going to call this Trailer Build 2. I know a lot of you watched my first video on build a trailer and low-cost soft wash system. This is a new trailer, got about a few months ago, and finally got it put together about a month ago, and just haven't had time to shoot a video. We've been absolutely swamped. This is a 6.5 by 14. Notice it's got a little bit longer tongue, a lot heavier duty. I'm curious, got two 3,500-pound axles with dual brakes though. Some of the counties around here require dual brakes if you have brakes. So, start right off here, what we got here. Notice I put a full ladder rack on this one. And I want to show you how we did this. I actually got the idea from another guy here in town who bought a used trailer that had something similar. I kind of modified this. I've got the uprights, they're L-shaped, 5/16 angle iron, and they're actually bolted. I'm going to show you a close-up here, bolted in the top rail and the lower rail. Solid as a rock. Actually, the only part that's welded is the top part here. Here I got three uprights, not quite halfway. I kind of spaced them how I wanted my equipment. And I welded those. So basically with 6 bolts, I can take the sides apart. And then the cross members here are actually bolted in to these rails here. So what it makes into the bottom flange here, I'll show you a close up how I did it. All stainless hardware. And then I ran another piece of angle iron here vertically to mount the reels on. But the advantage of this is, you know, my thinking is one day I might go to a truck with the, self-contained unit on the truck with a ladder rack on it. I wouldn't need this ladder rack. So I can literally unbolt this thing, take it apart in about, probably take less than an hour, just unbolt it. But the two sides are one piece and then the cross pieces just fit in. So it makes it a lot nicer. And the other reason I did it like that, I wanted to keep this middle part open because I'm always up in there working. So I've got this one back rail here. I'll show it to you. One back rail, and I actually use that hang to grab when I'm stepping up into it. One thing on this trailer, I did away with the full gate, went with a short gate. Absolutely the best thing I ever did. I used to trip over or slip on that. You had soap or something on the shoes or soap on the tailgate, you bust your ass on that tailgate in a heartbeat. So I did away with the tailgate, and that's probably the best thing I did on this trailer. But anyway, I put this type of ladder rack on it so I can disassemble. It's solid as a rock. It's not going anywhere. And there again, I don't carry a whole lot of weight. I've got my 3, and part of the reason I wanted a full ladder rack this time, because you see I did mount my reels to the ladder rack. Gives me more room, working room on the side. I had my soft wash box here, mounted my proportioner here. Only other thing I did, I added these. I got a 55-gallon bleach tank here, vertical one, and then 2 7-gallon tanks there. One's my soap and one's got snotmanate in it when I'm doing roofs. I've got 3 containers back here, these 15-gallon containers you can get for U-line, or sometimes you find the car wash. A couple of them came from a car wash, and a couple of them I'd bought. First one's just bleach for mixing my house wash. This one in the middle's 5 ounces of EBC to a gallon of water. This is my commercial work when I'm doing concrete work or even driveways. And then this is my mix tank here for my house washes or whatever. I can just pump right into there and just keep a little one of those cheap plastic pumps, just pump it over to there. Here's my heater, which was the main reason I'd gone and needed to go to the bigger trailer. I needed it because I'm doing more commercial work and I needed a heater. Same mounting system on my 2 engines, my 4 gallons down in the lower. If you notice this time, one of my comments on my first video I made was I needed to offset it more, make it easier to fill, and here you can see I did that. Then my 8.5 gallons sitting up here at the top. My 13-gallon fuel tank for the pressure washers underneath, just like it was. So really not a whole lot has changed on that end of it. I did go to a 330-gallon tote because the 275 I ran out of. I mean, heck, I went for a month there, and I bet you I had to wait 2 or 3 hours a week sometimes on water. Some of the houses around here have pretty good pressure and some don't, but if you're doing a lot of concrete work and running the big unit, you can suck a 275 dry pretty quick. I still don't carry usually more than about 150 gallons with me, but having that extra capacity makes a big difference. I had a job yesterday, I had that thing topped out to the top last night, and by the time I got through doing the driveway, I drained it all the way down. So I did away with my mix site when I went to the proportioner system. A few other things here. I was originally going to put one of those nice, you know, metal toolboxes across the tongue, but I'm always stepping across here. I'm working here, and the nearest one's about 20 inches, which would have eaten up a lot of this tongue. And I ended up just getting this one. It's a plastic box from Tractor Supply, you know, like $110, but it actually, I thought I'd just get it to temporarily kind of store my stuff in, and so far it's worked out pretty good. I actually kind of like it because my vise is here, and I kind of use it for a work top. If I'm working on any equipment or something like that, I got my vise right here, and I kind of use it for a work top, so that's worked out good. Went to Tractor Supply and bought a bunch of these milk carton containers here. I actually bolted down, just took a big washer and a screw and screwed them down into my floor of my trailer. And does the floor of the trailer. I went back and did the same thing with my, before I had the gray deck over, I went with green, kind of matched my colors here. Was real happy with that deck over material. So this has been on here a couple months, and still happy with it. Anyway, I've got all my chemical, you know, one of them is nothing but different acids, F9, F-Flow, mud reliever, you know, some of my specialty soaps I use, Dragon Juice, you know, small containers of EBC, and green wash and stuff like that I use. For my heater, I went and got a heavy duty extension cord, but a lot of times it's power, so I ended up getting one of the Champion electric start generators. Home Depot is about 419 bucks. Runs it fine. Yeah, you have to let it warm up a few minutes though before you start the heater, but got the cover for it, so that's worked out real well. I like that. I strapped my 55-gallon SH tank to my water tank. It comes from Power Wash store with a bracket that screws in the floor, but it's only got like 8 screws or something like that. And be honest, with a tall container like that, I still felt a little nervous with it when it's full, so I just strapped it to my tote. But you see, I did kind of the same thing. Put these little brackets here to slide my poles in, my longer poles in. Now here on the side where I got my water running out, same 2 filters. I actually sold my other system in the living one, but I went back. I love these blue top filters. Put a little spigot here to discharge. Really don't need it. I just put it there. Eventually I might run out of there. But what I did here, I put see this big toggle bolt here. If I want to drain this tank, I just pull those 2 pins, unclip it, and this whole assembly slides out. So I can dump, you know, through that 2-inch valve if I need to. Same thing, got it running to 1.5, and then they cut down to a 1-inch valve with the individual on and offs here. 1-inch ID pipe going to both washers, including the 4. But I wish I'd done that in my first one. Like I said, I just pull those 2 pins, and that big banjo valve there just slides the whole unit off. And plus, if I need to work on this unit, I can just pull the thing in, pull the whole thing out if I need to, literally like 30 seconds. So something I did different on this one makes it a lot easier if I ever needed to drain the tank or work on this, you know, filter assembly or something. Same way, man, my little washer to the side. Still don't have enough room, or haven't figured out a way to mount my bigger one. Surface cleaner. Other than that, pretty much the same. I love the dual axle though, guys. Tracks a lot better. Makes it a lot easier steering, backing up, because it's got a longer tongue, and feel a lot more comfortable. Excuse me, going down the road, having a you know, the extra weight capacity there, and having the dual brakes helps a lot. It actually helps slow it down a good bit. Same assembly I had before my pressure thing. Got my external hose here, running through a little filter here with a heavy duty vinyl. Like I said, get these from Ace Hardware. They got a lot more room inside of them that didn't choke down your incoming water. Here, the little brass ones do. If you look inside of those, about a pencil. This you can stick, you know, it's a full 1-inch ID on these, and haven't had a bit of trouble with it. Gun rack, basically mounted the same, slid it in here. A little more trouble to get to here. It's not quite as convenient, but like I said, it does the job. Extra diesel fuel, extra can of gas for the 4-gallon a minute machine, which, by the way, I rarely ever use anymore. Like I said, once you get used to using the 8, and on the 8, it takes a little practice when you're doing vinyl houses, because sometimes you tend to put too much rinsed water, and then you get the runoff, you know, out of the cracks and stuff like that. And the secret is, you know, just back up a lot, run a fine mist for your final coat. And I actually could walk around the house and check before I pack up. If I see any leakers or something like that, I'll just go and hit it with a fine mist coat with the 8, and that does the trick. Haven't had a problem here since I kind of figured out the best way to use it on vinyl. I'm getting about 18 to 1 on my downstream injector. You see how I got it mounted. I got the bypass, but I actually had Russ make mine up different, where I can go straight here. I'm going, when I'm doing water, I'm going straight. Okay, there are a couple of details I want to go into. Other things I did on the trailer here. Okay, you notice that all the trailer, I coated the entire thing with Herculiner. Originally started off using the roller method. You see it's a little bit rougher texture here, and I really didn't like that as much, so I ended up going with the can, the spray can. Gives a finer texture, and I was just going to do the side rails and the ladder rack, and I ended up doing the whole trailer. Probably spent about 8 or 9 cans to do the majority of it, and they're a little bit, probably less than $100 to do the whole thing. The thing I like about the cans too, if you get a spot or something, you can spray it and just touch it up. One other thing you'll notice back here, where I set my water heater and everything, I can fill everything. When I pull up the gas pump, I can fill the truck. Pulling up, I can fill up the tanks for the pressure washer, the 4-gallon washer, and also the diesel fuel. So I've got everything lined up facing one side. Just little things like that you kind of have to think about when you set up your trailer. Other thing, as I mentioned earlier, I mounted my reels up high. Now I love the access when you're good. It gives you a lot of free space down here on the side rail. But I will tell you, I always used to kind of make fun of guys that had electric reels. When they're down low, they're pretty easy to crank, but when they're up high, it's a whole different set of muscles, guys. And since I've only been using this trailer about a month, I'm still not sure. Like I said, at the end of the day, if you rolled everything in 3 or 4 times, those last couple of reels get pretty old. So I've actually been thinking about, maybe I need to start looking at doing an electric reel, because like I said, it's a whole different muscle when you're cranking it up above your head. I want to talk for a second just about my soft wash system here. Did on the other. What I ended up doing this when I went to the proportioner system, you know, they priced them at $1,200. Realistically, time you get everything said and done, you're looking at about $1,500. And I mounted it right here, bolted it right through to my rail here. I actually do like it. I wasn't sure. I put off doing it a whole long. I said, what's the big deal about a mix tank? But it is convenient. If you want to change, you know, if you're working on a house and you got one side that's really bad and you want to just hit it with a stronger bleach mix, it's nice to be able to do that. It's really nice for post treating. You know, I can just adjust my dials and do it. And what I did, I ran my seal on top. I've got a dual soap intake here. I think I've got limonene on the right side, and like I said, snotmonade on the left. And then this back one is the flush valve here for my SH comes in from that side. I've got the air pointed on the whichever side I'm pulling. Thanks to Pat Clark telling me that. Turn back the other way, it draws water to flush out your SH side of the tank. I got the water. And anyway, it comes out of a 3/4 inch plumb down the bottom here, out of the back, 3/4 inch. I've got it feeding in the bottom of my tank here, and I actually bought a new 100 PSI Delvin Fat Boy over here. and just plumbing in the bottom. And then I've got this here that comes up to my reel here, or if I need to pump anything else. And what this does, it gives me a backup, because my original Fat Boy over here, as you can see in there, it's got the same connector, and I kept that because if I want to shoot acid or something else I want to use that for, I use that one. The other thing is, with a proportioner system, it really helps if you can keep it primed the whole time, because otherwise you got to re-prime it every time you use it. So doing it this way, it keeps everything primed, so when I am ready to use it, it only takes just a minute to do it. I thought about going the booster pump route. I know a lot of guys are, or at least some guys are doing it. It does put out more flow, a little bit more range. With this Fat Boy, new one, this is 100 PSI. When I'm getting right, I checked it, I'm getting just over 5 gallons a minute flow, and I measured it out, I'm getting right at 42 feet in distance with a fresh battery. So, not bad, since I still mainly downstream, but for roofs, and I'll probably eventually go to a booster pump, but it's got, you know, time you build your box and all that, it's not inexpensive either. You know, pumps themselves are $800 or $900, and then you got all related hardware. I need a bigger box to put it in and everything. I actually left room to put a bigger box here between my rails if I wanted to, but that, you know, another $1,300 or $1,400, and I'm just not sure how much I'd use it to get a little bit extra distance, because like I said, I still like downstreaming as far as on my houses and stuff. But just to give you some ideas, I actually like the tanks. Like I said, these tanks came from Power Wash store. I like the little 7-gallon tanks for my soap, for my proportioner, and I like that vertical 55, pretty compact way to keep your bleach, and it holds the whole drum. So anyway, hope this helps you some, gives you some ideas. Yeah, with that proportioner, a lot more plumbing. You can see there's a tank thing from the SH. You got 2 leads coming from your soap tanks. You got 2 for the water. A fair amount of plumbing involved there. Thank goodness I had a little bit of help setting it up. Not hard, it just takes time. Another one of those things. So anyway, like I said, hope this helps, gives you some ideas. Things I really like is the bolt-on ladder rack. Like I said, I love my heater. It's nice having the bigger tote tank sometimes. And like I said, overall, I like having the reels mounted up high, because it does give you a lot more working area along the sides. And like I said, I'm thinking about going to the electric reel at some point in time. But, anyway, talk to you later. Thanks, guys.